All right, Sunday, December 19th, 2021. Gonna have some fun now. Real fun, not like playing with the truck. So here is my first totem log, and I put my spawn in there that I ordered online. And we'll see how it goes. Now I should probably wrap this log too, and I didn't have it, well, I had this other plastic bag on there. I just put this new plastic bag and gave her a little sprinkle on the log and wet the inside of that. Now it's going to be a cold front coming through tomorrow. I'm taking our temperatures down and drying the air out a lot, so I want to keep that covered, keep that as moist as I can. But I'm going to get another log going today, and I think I'm going to cut this one here that's been soaking for a while, and I'm going to put some of this in here for spawn. This is still active, it's still live, it's still in there. I know it'll grow in coffee grounds because I got some right here, and if you look in there, it's all full. Look how full of, look at that. Now there's a bunch of bugs in there too, but that doesn't matter. That's not the fruiting body. They're just eating some of that fungus too. But I know it'll grow here all by itself, doesn't need much help. It'll do it right on top of a lot, and that's in the sun. That actually gets in the sun there a little bit. Over here it's a little more shaded, and I think we're going to have a better chance. I have a very narrow little dish under there just to capture a little bit of water so it doesn't like just drain out, but it's not actually like sitting in a tray or anything either. So let me get to chopping on this waterlogged log over here, slice and dice, and at least get the bottom packed with this. I might take this oyster, which is a regular oyster. I thought it was blue. I called it blue oyster once because it was kind of grayish and kind of getting a little bit of color on it. But I think it's just a regular that color oyster color, I guess. And so I put the two. If I put this and my other blue oyster together on the same log, would that be blue oyster cult? Get it? That's a little mushroom joke there, blue oyster cult. That's a brand new one. I just made that up. You can use it if you'd like. Blue oyster cult mushroom. Anywho. Okay, now see here. This is that stuff I was playing with the other day, mixing up with a little bit of spawn in there. See the grains? And you can see where they're moldy. They're getting moldier. They're growing. There's one. You can see that one growing. So those are actually in that substrate there, working, doing good, just sitting right there in a bowl. So now we're going to keep that going the way it's going. Maybe add a little more water to that even, just keep it moist. And we're going to stack some of that and some of that in the log, if I didn't already say that enough. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So here's my log, took it out of the water, and it doesn't stand up. The bottom isn't straight, so I got to kind of 90 this thing up to get it to stand. Alrighty, so here we are. I got my log all sliced up into, I don't know, 2.5 inch slices, and this is my grow kit, and here is some of the insides of that. So I'm going to sprinkle around some of this brand new fresh sawdust that I just got out of here from drilling it. I'm going to drill down pretty deep, about 3/4 or maybe an inch or so, and then I got to break this up really good, so I'm going to have to do that off camera. And then the tops, I'm going to put little dents in there. I'm not going to go real deep. I don't want to create too much room for pests to get in there. I'm going to divot the top a little bit though to give it some surface area. And so yeah, let me do a couple rows like that. Okie dokie. I noticed this block seems a little dry, so I wet that down a little bit, and then I remembered, oh yeah, these things like coffee grounds. So this is a puck that's left over when you make espresso in a little coffee maker. So that's what that is. So I wet that down with some rainwater over here, give it a little more. Put some coffee grounds on there because I know they like that. Now I'm going to stack this next log on there. Maybe rub some stuff around on that too, just to get it on there. Ooh, hey, that looks pretty good. That might work. Let me rub some of that into those holes. Just get that all over. Wouldn't hurt to wet that down a little bit too. You know, I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, I've done dumber stuff than this and had it turn out fantastic. So that's why I document this stuff. Alright, well, without going into the catastrophe too much, I tried putting some wood chips down here. They ended up being full of red ants, so I burned this up and my big torch and put the cardboard down. So came over here to the log stacking area, and I got like another layer of this block going in there, ground that up, wet that down, put some fresh sawdust in there. This crumbles up pretty good actually. I just keep putting a little more in there. Now I took drilled some holes in here, put some coffee grounds on there, and put a little bit of water on that, so that'll make them coffee grounds stick up in them holes. Now a couple reasons for that. Somebody told me you take coffee grounds and that keeps the ants away. They don't like coffee grounds. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer at that point. Mushrooms like coffee grounds and ants don't. Let's put some coffee grounds in there. So that's why I did that one that way. The first layer I didn't quite do this way, but I got coffee grounds in there. So hopefully this is going to work good. Let me stack this thing on here. Oh, hey, that worked actually pretty good. I just took the block and I just rubbed it on here where the coffee grounds were, and it plugged up all those holes with that mycelium there, right there. So that's going to be perfect right up in them holes there with coffee grounds in there, coffee grounds, wood chips, fresh spawn right there, or kind of fresh spawn, used spawn, but still viable spawn. Wow, as Larry the Cable Guy would say, that works slicker than snot right there. I drilled the holes, took a little bit of the coffee ground puck and just ground it over, put a little bit of coffee grounds in there. Then I took the used block and I rubbed it on there. And basically it just plugs almost like a putty. It works down, you can smash it down in there and plugs those holes up, fills them up just perfect, doesn't leave too much airspace in there. There's some active mycelia right there. I'm going to spread some more around on top here, just rub that on there. Look at that. Man, I tell you, some of the stupid stuff I do by accident turns out to work all right. This might be one of those times. We'll see. A little more wood chips on there. A little more. That's my sterilized coffee grounds right there. I'm going to stack that next one on there. That is a little bit of work. At least my back says so. Alright, I used most of that block, grinding it up and putting it in there between them layers. And I got 8 stacks, 8 layers, counting the bottom and counting the top. And true to my word, I did mix a little bit of this blue oyster mushroom on the very last row at the top there. So the bottom of the log is just that regular gray oyster or white oyster, whichever it is that comes in the kit. Doesn't really specify. And the last layer up there is a little bit of a mixture, but mostly the blue. So we'll see if 2 different colored mushrooms come out on that log, if anything. And the plastic bag that I got for that is a little tighter. So that makes a pretty good seal on that. Actually, I could pull that down even a little bit more on there if I was really... But I'm getting kind of tired, so I think I'm going to go sit down and maybe have a cold, refreshing beverage cut.